up, everybody? I am Evan J. Thomas, and this is the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas podcast. On today's show, I have the dynamic frontman of the Chicago rock band Primal Moon. Welcome to the show, Joe Brunker.
Howdy. Thanks for having me, Evan.
All right, I needed a little bit more energy out of you than that. I mean, come
Howdy.
on. I just saw you a week ago.
Having me.
There you go. And that is the energy I saw at that show a week or so ago over at Rock House. I don't need the laid back Joe that's just like, yeah, man, that's it. So what's up? What's new with you? I mean, you got this. I mean, you've been in this rock band thing for how long now? At least a decade, right?
Yeah, probably about a decade at this point. Started and then like a little longer. I was a worship pastor for like a few years.
Get out. All right, we'll get into that in a little bit. You were a worship pastor.
Yeah, and that's kind of what started me writing songs. And then when I went to college, I decided to start a band.
Holy cow. So you've been in Primal Moon, which is a pretty fucking badass rock band. And by the way, you can swear on this show. It's okay. It's going to be on YouTube. So Primal Moon, I saw you guys for the first time over at Rock House. You opened up for some tribute band. I won't name who it was, but you guys fucking rocked the house. And the fact that probably everybody there weren't really there to see you, and you had them rolling. So that was awesome. What do you try to do when you play a show where people really just don't know who you are? What do you try to get out of them? Did I lose you? Are you there? Joe, come back. I'm losing you. There you are.
All right, I'm back. All right. So basically I haven't I like to leave an impression. I like our band. Our band does the impression anyways. Their sound is just amazing. We don't really have an agenda. We just like them to remember it, and people have started to remember us, so that's good. that excites me quite a bit. The guys are super stellar talents. They've been playing even longer than me, so they're just killer.
And with Primal Moon, name the other guys in the band. Obviously, I said I wanted you on this show, but you were trying to get the other guys too. So name who you have. I know you have Luke Pope, so I know him. I've known him for a while.
Yeah, you knew him from Dead Harvest. There's Luke Pope. There's Brian Alberts on lead guitar. Luke Pope's on bass. Tony Tessari on the drum kit. And Justin Stockton is our new rhythm guitarist. He just started at the beginning of the summer, and he's been crushing it. He was actually in Brian and Tony's first band.
Gotcha. And just to let people know if they're watching this, your video is a little lagging, so your voice is coming faster than your video. So just letting the people know. So just letting you know too. You're there, but it's like kind of just lagging a little bit. Obviously,
okay.
Well, now it's okay. I don't know what just happened, but you're good now. So
weird.
You have a brand new song out that you just did a new video for. Talk about the song and the video and what you guys did with that.
The song's kind of funny. I held on to those lyrics for a very long time. So my first band, Over the Sun, actually did that song. We wrote that as like a reggae rock sort of vibe, and then it slowly transitioned into Dead Harvest because Over the Sun didn't want to keep running with that song, so Dead Harvest decided to take it on, and it fit like a glove with that style of rock, and we were like, oh, this is pretty cool. Then in Dead Harvest, it had like more of a little bit more gritty in the vocals, and since we had a different different lead guitarist, it sounded slightly different. And then Primal Moon took that and morphed it into a Primal Moon tune, and we kept it and utilized it. And I'd been wanting to make a music video for a while. we didn't have too much of a time frame, but we knew that this new recording was stellar, and we wanted to make a video for it. So we did like a quick shoot with our friend Kyle Karras, killer video content guy. Like the guy is just stellar in all that he does in that. And we came up with a little quick thing to add to the video aside from us just performing. It seemed to work out.
Yeah, and like I said, I saw you guys perform it, and you sent me the song for my radio station. So the Badass Radio Network, we've been rolling it in rotation now. So that's pretty cool to have you guys
Thank
on
you
there.
so much.
You're welcome, man. I mean, come on. I always have to support my buddy, especially the fact that I've gone through now 3 different bands that you've been in, and I've been like a big fan of all of them. So it's been awesome doing this with you and kind of seeing how you grow as a musician, and as a singer as well. So it's pretty cool. So now that you've kind of been, this is like your 3rd pretty good band that you've been in. What has brought you from the first band to Dead Harvest to now Primal Moon? Like, how did your music kind of change in that manner?
So, Over the Sun, it started, and I was actually very adamant about trying to. This was back when I was in ministry. I was pretty adamant about trying to keep God in lyrics, and then I kind of my mindset kind of shifted in the more I delved into the music scene. The bandmates didn't really want to do that, and I was like, okay, cool. And so then I realized, wow, there's actually a lot of freedom in that, because I could talk about anything I want. And so I did. I started to talk about anything I wanted. Over the Sun ran its course. We had a good around 5 years. It was a great time. Good guys, very talented people, very very good hearts. Then Dead Harvest, I kind of started as a side project. I joined as a side project, but then it kind of took off it took off to about the same level as where Over the Sun was, from a spectrum of shows and booking. And Dead Harvest was together for 8 months, and it kind of just like shot up really quick and then fizzled out pretty quick. You know, it wasn't anything wrong. Like nobody hates each other. They're all good guys, you know. And so soon after the dissolution of Dead Harvest, I ended up getting an invite from Luke to try out for this band, come jam and see how it goes. And I went there, and the first few songs me, Tony, Brian, and Luke played, it just fit like a glove, because they're just so talented at what they do. And how I write a lot of my songs, most of my songs, is through freestyle format. So they're really good at freestyle, and they're really good at crafting the melodies on guitar, the drum hits, and the bass lines. So then I just add my melody of lyrics to it.
Yeah. And it flow, and not only does it just flow, but like you said, the band behind you, they're like really good musicians, top to bottom.
Insane.
So it's fantastic to just see like a rock band, and not an over the top rock band either. I mean, your dynamic presence on stage, I'm going to say there's not many people that kind of bring your energy. And that's what I like about bands now. It's like, I'm not a fan of those bands that just stand there and kind of just go through the motions and sing. I like some energy from either the lead singer or the guitar player, or somebody just doing something to kind of bring the energy, because that, to me, that's what makes a performance.
There's this one band with a bass player named Blue Dream. That dude, his energy, I was jealous of his energy when we played with them at the Forge. like they were, whoa. The bassist was a nut.
I gotta check them out now. I mean, it sounds interesting. There's a few local bands that I really like, especially lately, that are like really good performers and also musicians. Sun Volume is one. You've probably heard of them or seen them. And
I've heard they're awesome.
Dude, they're like a 90s alternative throwback. It is like grunge level awesomeness. And then
don't they all have like the super long hair?
Yeah, they're like, I mean, they basically, yeah, I mean, they look like a grunge band from the 90s.
Exactly, straight up.
They're in their early 20s, and it's fantastic. Another one that I really like lately is Blood People. I don't know if you know who they are also.
I'm not sure of who
they are. They have a female lead singer, and they're really fucking good. They're gritty. I love it. It's just gritty. So, just speaking of the local scene, I kind of want to talk a little bit about that. What, being in Chicago and in the suburbs in the past decade or so, how have you seen the change of local music kind of flourish in the location? Because to me, I've seen more of an influx of cover and tribute bands and not as much as originals.
Yeah, so Chicago is the tribute cover capital of the world, is what a lot of people call it.
I've been hearing that too, and I kind of have to agree.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's what makes a lot of bars money, and that's honestly because a lot of bars, like, they'll love to have those people, because those people will keep getting drunk to the same Brown Eyed Girl 50 times, you know.
That is exactly what I say about tribute bands and cover bands. Is
I love tribute bands. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love certain bands, like certain cover bands. Like, don't matter to me. Really good young cover band. Like, they're all like in college and they're freaking awesome. They put on a heck of a show.
But you're right. Now, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish up. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah, there's just a couple bands like that. The talent is there. It's just, I've always loved writing. I really have. And like learning a bunch of cover songs for me is just it's a taxing process with ADHD.
But writing, to me, for an actual musician, is their creativity. If you're a cover or a tribute band, you're taking somebody else's lyrics and music and just basically going out and playing it. So basically, you're just tracing a picture of exactly what was underneath, just so you can make some money. But like you said, I get it. There's a niche for everything. And like you said, that's what the bar owners want. They want people to come out, get drunk, be able to sing songs to like Black Sabbath or Korn or whatever, you know, have those type of tribute bands just so they can make money. Unfortunately, it seems like the original bands, it's a struggle for them to kind of get noticed. So you kind of have to open up for those tribute bands like you guys did a week or so ago. So that's how you kind of have to get your name out there, which sucks, but it's true.
Honestly, I'd love to open for tribute bands any day, because that seems to be like, whenever we get places, especially at Rock House, they tend to places with bands that are not far from our genre. Like, right. Like they're dabbling, they're touching our lines. We just might be slightly harder than them, unless it's, we played with Smells Like Nirvana there last year.
Yep.
And they also have their original band, which is a lot of what a lot of cover bands do. They have a cover band, and then Correct. They have an original band that they utilize, which I think that's how Godsmack was created. As in, they started off as so, and
well, actually, another band that started off as a cover band that turned into an original is the band Fozzy. Chris Jericho's band was the same way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, your phone's cutting in and out. So hopefully you're okay there.
Oh yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, but like I said, Fozzy was one of those bands that started off as a cover band, and then they just moved into their own writing style, their own music, and now they've become pretty good in terms of performance. Obviously, having a guy like Chris Jericho always helps as well as a lead singer. So does it?
Oh yeah, his energy and his performance skills are wonderful.
It's weird. I'm looking at you and your mouth isn't moving, but I'm getting sound out of you. So it's pretty interesting how this is going on right now. I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi
for the
connection
lag.
or what, but it's kind of interesting seeing you do this. All right, so I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier. You said you were you did ministry. You were like a preacher, right?
Yeah, for a little bit, about 7 years. I was in high school. I started to dabble in a lot of hard drugs, and I like in the same week my parents became hardcore Christian. I became a hardcore atheist, and at the time, and a lot of scenarios and situations that by the end of my high school time and like the beginning of my first semester of junior college, I flunked out, and I had two groups out. One group out to kill me for $10,000, and then another group out to chop off my fingers. I was facing about 2 years in jail, and I just didn't know what to do. Everything was falling apart. I had been on and off homeless because I just couldn't live. Me and my dad could not reside in the same house without, just getting absolutely pissed at each other at the time because I was doing so many hard drugs. And then I ended up, since I was facing all those things at once, I finally decided I need to go to rehab. I need to change my life. That wasn't too expensive, but it was also it was a very long rehab, and where we worked to pay for our stay pretty much. Okay. We worked full-time jobs. It was a teen challenge in Peoria, and then 8 months in Pennsylvania for the second phase of it. And it was a Christian rehab. And when I moved out to the second phase in Pennsylvania was where I started taking the melodies that I had written in the first rehab, and I added them to become part of the worship team. And we started to write our songs. So like the worship team just started to go with it and create the music with me. And it went really well. I recorded my first like somewhat EP out there. It sounded really cool. It was just straight acoustic with me and my friend Brian. Okay. And then I ended up moving back home for just a little bit, and then moving down to Missouri for ministry school. Pretty much, I went to school they had like a satellite campus at this megachurch and gave us an associate's, and then I moved back up in a couple places, a youth minister out in Watsika, in Aurora, all over the place, Kentucky. And I worked at a counseling camp in Michigan for a little bit. It was a great time. I definitely enjoyed it. Thoroughly loved seeing kids find some sort of peace in life that's crazy. So I ended up kind of getting a little burnt out on the politics of things in the church. And in just judgment, feeling constantly judged rather than loved. But that was just, that was a very different phase. So I kind of drifted more into music and more into acting again, and started to reharness my passions that I had before I did drugs.
Well, that's good that you kind of got yourself out of that and you found your own path to kind of move forward. A lot of people don't have that option to do so. So it's kind of cool. My sister went through the same thing with substance abuse, and she's gotten out of it as well. So that's just to see
awesome.
People strive on moving forward with their lives and not falling back is always a good thing to do. And also, you have to have
believe me, I stumbled a couple times, but I didn't stay stumbled, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody has setbacks, and everybody kind of falls back a little bit. You're not going to be 100%. We're not all perfect. I'm not either. Yeah. I'm just lucky I haven't fallen into that situation where that came about. So for me,
I'm glad you haven't either. You're a good guy.
Trust me, I've been drinking more than I should lately, but I wouldn't even say more. I have like 2 beers a week, if that, but that's it. But I'm doing good. I like going to breweries now with my lady friend Heather, who you met. So that was pretty cool.
She's great.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's following you on social media, as I see as well. So that's pretty
I
cool.
know.
So yeah, I saw that. So to kind of go to the next chapter of your life in terms of what you're doing. So you have the music, you're still doing somewhat of the acting, correct? Or is that kind of behind you now?
Yeah, this year has actually really kind of started getting me back into it. I was actually about to next month I'm probably buying some headshots so that I could start diving in a little more.
If you need some headshots, I think you know a pretty well, you know photographers, so you don't have to
Yeah, dude. I'll definitely talk to you. Let me know in a bit. But I'm gonna probably start diving a little bit more back in because this summer was really good in that term. I got to act in 3 music videos and a web series for a streaming service, strictly filmed in Chicago. All the videos from the streaming service. Awesome. Really, really fun time. So there's a couple music videos. I was just in Jackson Adams music video, and that was a great release from them. And the lead singer of Lucky Boys Confusion also has a solo project, and I was a crooked cop somewhat in his music video, which was a lot of fun. So much fun to film. I love acting.
So what was the series that you were in? Because I don't know if you know about me, but I did some acting as well. I haven't done it for about 3 or 4 years now, but I've been in some web series as well. I usually play a bad guy. That's where I got the name Badass out of everything that I do, is because I
usually play villain too. Yeah.
And it's more fun to me playing a villain. And also it's a lot of fun getting killed as well, because I always say, if you're going to kill me in a series or something, it has to be an epic way to die too. It can't just
right?
It's like you gotta do something. Either rip my neck apart or like choke me to death or do something fun. So, but yeah, how are you finding these gigs? I mean, do you have an agent or you just following up on like casting calls?
No, but I'm starting to think that I should start looking for an agent. I just there's a lot of things that I don't know exactly how to do them yet, so I'm not going to just jump because I want to know that I can trust the agent that I find.
That is always a tough thing in the in any industry, is trusting the agent that you're working with. So yeah.
I think it's a very big thing, and so I'm gonna slowly start working on that and reading into that a little bit more on what's the best route to go. But yeah, I just because I want to start auditioning more. Luckily, they were just some friends that knew my energy a lot of times, and they told me. And then one of my friends, Kyle Karras, the guy who made our music video, he added me to this Facebook page that has a bunch of directors from all over Chicago there.
If you feel like that's how I got at some point, feel free and add me as well. I don't mind.
I will. And that's how I got on that streaming series, which was called Nell's Way. I'll send you the link.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to check it out.
Yeah, it's kind of like he films a lot of gangster series, where like Chicago style gangs, which is really cool. He recently just got a Sony Red, so like that's gonna even enhance it even more, which is gonna make it even so much more stellar. He's a great director, Dorian, the guy who I found on the
what's
Facebook.
Dorian's last name? Johnson?
Yeah.
I know him. I know who Dorian is.
You know Dorian?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
I've probably been on set with him before, so that's how I know him.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, like I said, I've been in the acting business for almost a decade. 2013 is when I started.
That's awesome. So. Yeah, I kind of started. I started when I got my scholarship I started when I was a kid, but I started diving in more into a little more in depth in the past like 7 or 8 years. I was in a few commercials for the drummer of Over the Sun's parents' company.
Well, that's cool.
That was a lot of fun. And then I was in a short film a couple years back out in Michigan for my friend Daniel Duane from college, and he had me come out there, and I was in a wheelchair for the whole time, and I was like moving back to my brother's house because I couldn't take care of myself anymore, and I didn't want to accept that.
Interesting how you kind of do all this stuff. And now I kind of saw that you posted on Facebook the other day that you're writing a children's book as well called Henry the Hyper Hippo. So
yeah,
tell me about this and like when it's supposed to be coming out and how this all came about.
So this will be my my third book release. But this will probably be the first one I want to get through a publisher. So I've got to copyright my words real quick before I send them out. But after I copyright my words, I'll be able to send those out to the proper people and to the proper publishers. I met a publisher for like one of the largest kids books while I was on a sales meeting, kids books companies. And so I've got his card, and he was the head of sales in that in kids books especially. So he said he would gladly help me if the book works well.
That's awesome. So who is Henry the Hyper Hippo? Like, explain what the character is and how this came about.
Henry the Hyper Hippo would be me if I was the kid who got treated beforehand. If mental health wasn't so taboo back in when I was a child.
Yep.
Because each decade it seems to get less and less taboo. But I actually talked with someone at a sales meeting today they said, they say I have ADHD. I'm 56 and I didn't know about it for this long. Because mental health was almost looked down upon like a weakness. Trying to keep yourself mentally strong meant that you were weak, which I mean, it's good to admit you're weak because everybody's weak in some way. And so I ended up writing this from the perspective of, please, if you see signs, take your kid to the doctor. It could help them dramatically in life. It could help them with their future as an adult, with their adult life if they find out sooner and work on it. And actually, and that prescription is not a bad thing. You're not weak because of it.
Correct. And you're not weak if you have issues, because everybody is going through something and everybody is in a different phase of, of their life. So it changes and it like for me personally, I've changed over the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years in terms of personality and just how I perceive things and kind of how I work things as well. 10 years ago, when I first started acting, I was afraid as shit to be in front of people and talk. Now look what I do.
Hell yeah.
I'm on the fucking radio and whatnot. I mean, I went back to school 3 years ago just to kind of work on things as well. So it's one of those where, your life changes. So yeah, if you can figure it out early, do it. So the book that's going to be coming out, do you have any like timetable on when it will be coming out, or what's next with it?
I'm hoping for like by the beginning of the new year. I'm hoping that it'll be out near that time, or at least with the proper publisher to get it out. So I'm gonna start emailing this week a little more to the right people, and then when emails, I'll just wait on the response. I'll call the guy with source books, and then hopefully see if that can work out. Basically, right now it's just the publisher game. The whole story's done. The pictures are all done.
Yeah, it's all just the illustration is done. Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to do the illustrations rather than I wanted to get the illustrations done beforehand, before I sent to publishers, so that it would just be ready right away, just ready for them to take a hold of and work with, rather than have to go through the illustration process while I'm with the publisher.
There you go, dude. Can't wait for that to come out. I'm definitely gonna support it. I will probably get one as well, so you better tell me when it comes out so I can follow you.
Gladly.
I got to, man. It's just I support friends that do good things and creative things as well. So you're one of the best at it. So I might as well stick with it, brother, because you're the best. So I appreciate that. And you're being you. That's the best part of this whole thing. So you're being you as an artist. You like being the creativity person with the acting, the music. I wish I was more musically inclined. Unfortunately, I'm not. I just have a lot of other skills that I do as well. So but
and you love music, so that's great.
I love music. I just can't play anything. I just suck at it. But you know what? I'll talk about it all fucking day long. It's all good.
Hell yeah.
So, and I get people like you on the show and then be able to promote it. So it always works out. So what do you have coming up? We only have a few minutes left here, unfortunately, but what do you have coming up, Joe, with you or the band? Obviously we have the book, but otherwise, other than that, what else do you have coming up?
The band is in recording bunker right now. We're kind of just doing a lot of recording. We're going through some like we're trying to work on some changes for more effectiveness in a lot of ways. So we're all kind of like reviewing and renewing and figuring out what we're going to do and how we're going to recalibrate. Just because it's now that we have like we're going to lay low a little bit for the next few months. I think we've got a show or two, just because we're going to try to pan out some things. Okay. Yeah.
And then on the socials, where can we find Primal Moon? Obviously, just throw out what you remember.
Yeah, you can find us at Primal Moon Band on Instagram. I believe that's the same tag on Twitter. And you could also find us as Primal Moon on Facebook, and we're all over Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, and we just launched our YouTube page. And the big launch was mainly the main music video. This one's for you.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And I was just gonna say, this one's for you is out now. Check that out. Make sure you kind of download it. Check out the video, like it, subscribe to Primal Moon on everything. So there's a lot to follow. Do you guys have a Patreon yet or no?
No, not yet.
Not yet. All right.
We'll reconvene and talk a little more. I think we're all meeting this week at some point.
And once you get some merch, you have to let me know, because I was hoping to get a shirt last week. Unfortunately,
you know what's funny? We had the T-shirts with us, so I'll definitely let them know. We have T-shirts. We have shirts and long sleeve shirts.
Awesome.
Long sleeve tee. Yeah,
definitely want one, and I was hoping you would have them laid out on a week ago. Was it Saturday or Friday? That Friday night, I think it was. I don't.
Yeah, I know. We forgot to bring them in. we were kind of in a rush. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong. Like Murphy's Law was in the application, so it was like. But the show pulled off without a hitch.
Hey, the show was amazing, and again, if you have a chance to see Primal Moon, do it, because Joe Brunker's dynamic personality as a frontman is unrivaled in the local scene. I will say that, bar none, because I have not seen anybody else bring that type of energy as a solo, not solo, but as a frontman. So, Joe, you fucking kill it every time I see you, man.
Yeah, I want to put on I just feel what they play, and that's like the biggest thing.
You can tell.
And coming from theater and musical theater, I've always wanted to put on the best performance that I could, and not playing an instrument in bands has given me that freedom to do so, to jump around and go crazy, and
you certainly do. So, dude, you are a man among men in the local scene, that is for sure. So, dude, Joe, I appreciate you joining me today.
Thank you, Evan. Thanks for having me, and listen to Primal Moon.
I appreciate that. So once again, we have the new song out for Primal Moon. It is called This One Is For You. The video is out. Again, Joe Brunker. I am Evan J. Thomas. This is the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas podcast. You can find me all over the socials on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Badass Productions on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Badass Radio Network on Facebook and on TikTok. Holy shit, I got a lot going on. So there it is.
Yeah.
Joe, until next time, brother, I will see you very soon.
All right. Good talking to you, brother. Have a great night. All right. Bye.
Hold on. Don't leave yet.